Hello and welcome back to The Honest Left. So I was going to make a video today talking about direct ballot initiative, a sort of plan we could go for to kind of lessen the blow that we took with Bernie Sanders dropping out, us not getting our candidate, etc. But over the past few days I started to notice something quite peculiar, and I felt obligated to cover it, because Bernie Sanders is pivoting in a way that really, it does not look good. It really does not look good, guys. I'm serious. I take no pleasure in making this video, obviously. But Bernie Sanders, they got to him. They got to him. After all this time, they got to him. So, I believe it was a couple days ago, Bernie Sanders endorsed Joe Biden. He went on to a stream with Joe Biden, talked about, the same blah, 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 I'm going to work hard for you, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure you get elected because we have to stop Trump, blah, 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 etc. And obviously that was very disappointing to me, especially considering the fact that he just sat there and basically just let Joe say whatever he wanted, talk about whatever he wanted, didn't interject, didn't object to anything Joe was saying. It was very painful to watch for any progressive out there. But now he's going out there essentially trashing his supporters, trashing the people who supported him, his volunteers, the people who donated, the millions and millions of people who made his campaign possible, who made it the largest grassroots campaign in the history of the United States. Essentially trashing them because they don't want to support Joe Biden. They don't want to vote for Joe Biden. They don't want to endorse Joe Biden. They essentially don't want anything to do with this election. And he's calling them irresponsible and just saying things that it's really bad. It's really, really bad what I'm seeing. And so, look, obviously I'm I'm an extremely small channel. I just started a couple months ago. Alright, my videos don't get views, nothing like that. Right now I'm essentially doing this because I want to, because I believe it's important, and there is that chance for growth. I'm not in this to make any money. I'm not in this to get famous. I'm in this because I believe it's important. And so I started this channel with the intention of trying to be as unbiased as I possibly can be. And look, if you're watching this and you say, well, you trash Joe Biden all the time, you trash Donald. Yeah, I call it like I see it. If I see something I don't like, if I see something I believe is morally not right, if I see political decisions being made that only benefit the wealthy, that only benefit big donors, big corporations, I'm going to call them out. Okay, and Bernie Sanders going out there and telling his supporters they're irresponsible if they don't want to vote for Joe Biden does not benefit normal people. We all know who Joe Biden is. We all know Joe Biden's record, and if you don't, Google it. You can find it very easily. It's not a good one. It's not a good record. Okay, this is a guy who wrote the bankruptcy bill in the 90s, who helped write the bill, who went on the Senate floor and defended and basically bragged about wanting to freeze Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and everything like that, who's wanted to cut Social Security multiple times, who voted in favor of the Iraq War. This is a guy that we do not want as president. And look, I've been openly critical this entire time of the way that Bernie Sanders treated Joe Biden, the way that he would not call him out, the way he would not deliver the so-called knockout punch, the way he would just not go at him. And you know what? That was bad. Okay, that was bad enough. But when you go out there and you basically want to force your supporters to support a guy that they do not want to, support a guy who does not have their interest in mind, and Bernie, you know he does not have working people's best interests in mind. Okay? You know probably better than anybody else. You've worked in Washington a long time. Worked with Joe Biden a long time. You know who he is. And you're going out there and basically just doing what mainstream media and all these other bland, nothing Democrats have been doing throughout this entire election. Just pushing this point that the only thing that matters is defeating Donald Trump. From the guy who ran on a revolution, ran on the idea of a political revolution. Okay, I would think that he, better than anybody, would know that that is not the only thing that matters. Okay, because whether we get Donald Trump or Joe Biden, what is going to change? What is fundamentally going to change in this country with either of those options? Okay? With Donald Trump, we continue on the trajectory we've been on throughout the past 4 years. A country where the wealthy have all the gains and the poor continue to get poorer. But guess what? With Joe Biden, is it really going to be that much different? Is it really going to be a different result with him as opposed to Donald Trump? I don't believe so. Okay, we might get some nice things. You know, he supports parts of Elizabeth Warren's tuition-free college plan. Great. Awesome. He wants to get us back into the Paris Climate Agreement. Awesome. Cool. That's it. That's all that's going to change with this guy. Expanding Obamacare? Is that really going to benefit us? Do you really think Joe Biden would get in there and really want to give everybody in this country health care through an expanded Obamacare plan? No. You're talking about a guy who has taken millions of dollars from the insurance industry. You think he's going to leave them hanging? No. You're talking about a guy who has taken millions of dollars from prescription drug companies. Do you think he's going to leave them hanging? No. I am extremely disappointed. And similar to the video I made about AOC a few weeks back, talking about some puzzling things that she said and some directions that are alarming that she's going in. It makes me fear that we are losing the tiny bit of leverage that we had in Washington. That these progressive people who are members of Congress, who have been fighting the good fight, that they're getting to them. That the pressures that be on Capitol Hill are getting to these people. With Bernie Sanders, an independent for decades in Washington, unheard of, remaining independent, not fully aligning with the Democratic Party. The guy who has been fighting for the same things for decades, who's been fighting for Medicare for all, who's been fighting for a Green New Deal, who has been in support of Roe v. Wade, been fighting for a tax on the wealthy, fighting for tuition-free college. When he starts acting like we have to support Joe Biden, when he starts acting like we all have to get behind a corrupt, spineless politician that Joe Biden is, or we're being irresponsible, that is very worrisome. I gotta be realistic here. Look, I always like to look on the bright side. I always do. Every time I have to make a video like this, I always go, okay, look, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is this, there is that. With this particular situation, I don't really see a bright side. Now look, I'm still going to make my video on direct ballot initiative because it is important to talk about. It's a concept that could really, really help get the people some power in the federal government. But I am very, very disappointed in what I am seeing. That's all I gotta say. Thank you for watching.